Derived from ancient Japanese battlefield technique, modern Aikido is a new art, developed largely since the middle of this century. Aikido's founder, Morihei Ueshiba, lived from 1883 to 1969. Out of respect, most students of Aikido call him O-sensei, the syllable O being a term of honor. Mitsugi Saotome sensei is a direct student of O-sensei. Born in Japan in 1937, Saotome sensei began his study of Aikido at the age of 19. In 1960, he entered Aikikai Honbu Dojo, headquarters of Aikido's central organization, as an uchiteshi, or live-in student, a position that he held for 15 years. O-sensei met many important people, including John Glenn, the first astronaut to orbit the Earth. In Glenn's honor, O-sensei conducted a special demonstration. A careful observer of O-sensei's teaching methods, Saotome sensei reports that O-sensei most often lectured not on technical form, but on Budo and on Aikido's spiritual significance. Saotome sensei has preserved this approach in his own teaching. Saotome sensei also trained under O-sensei's son, Kishomaru Ueshiba sensei, Aikido's present Doshu. Like Doshu, Saotome sensei has stated that Aikido's basic purpose is to help people live better lives, to make their spirits blossom, and so to improve the world. Saotome sensei often traveled with O-sensei and served as his uke in demonstrations. For about 6 years after the founder's death, Saotome sensei remained as an instructor at Honbu Dojo. In 1975, he moved to the United States. In the late 70s, he demonstrated for the United Nations peacekeeping forces and for the delegates to the United Nations. Explaining to people around the country why he had left his position at Honbu Dojo, Saotome sensei said that after meditating on O-sensei's spirit for 3 days and 3 nights, he felt that O-sensei wanted him to come to the United States. This country is a great experiment, he explained, a melting pot of people from different cultural backgrounds living together, the world condensed into one nation. The goal of Aikido and O-sensei's dream is that all the people of the world live in harmony with each other and with their environment. The United States has the opportunity to set a great example. Several years after moving to the United States, Saotome sensei established an Aikido organization, Aikido Schools of Ueshiba, which is recognized by Aikikai Honbu Dojo. Many American and Canadian dojos are affiliated with this organization. For Saotome sensei, Aikido is a Budo, and this means that its aim is nothing less than the education of human instinct. On this view, the purpose of Aikido training is not to prepare us for hurting others, or even for defending ourselves, but to lead us beyond petty selfishness to a state of global concern, respect, and compassion. One of Aikido's most important principles is Musubi, the principle of connection, unification, and harmonious interaction. The art of Aikido has thousands of techniques. Saotome sensei will demonstrate about 50. While these techniques are, of course, important to Aikido, becoming familiar with technical forms is not sufficient for Aikido's mastery. To study Aikido is rather to study principles like Musubi, on which the forms rest. Students of Aikido often practice defenses against wrist grabs, especially in the early stages of their training. In such practice, it is easy to study proper posture, attitude, distancing, communication, and of course, Musubi. The aim in Musubi training is to connect one's center with one's partner's center, but the point of physical connection is often the hand or wrist. Spiraling hand movements allow the achievement of Musubi with a partner, connection without conflict. O-sensei's message was that rather than clashing with other people's energy, we should unify our own energy with it. If an opponent grabs strongly and a defender struggles at the point of contact, the defender cannot move freely. So in Aikido, the idea is not to fight, not to conflict. Many of Aikido's standard techniques begin with a spiral hand movement to establish Mitsugi. So the principle of Mitsugi is essential to Aikido training. An understanding of this principle underlies the proper application of all Aikido technique, whether basic or advanced. Mitsugi training is fundamentally the same when partners strike as when they grab. The importance of awareness, the aim, and the movement are all the same. The concept of Mitsugi is not just philosophical, but also technical and practical. Merely accepting a philosophy of harmony does not guarantee success. One must also train one's hand and one's body. An important method for developing Mitsugi is the seated practice of Kokyu Tanden Ho. In fact, the founder of Aikido often told his students that this non-competitive exercise is fundamental for the development of Mitsugi. As the lessons of standing Mitsugi practice apply to standing technique, the lessons of Kokyu Tanden Ho apply to the seated practice called Hanmi Handachi. The old conception of Aikido, which Saotome Sensei views as tragic, has to do with crushing, destroying, breaking, punishing, and even killing an enemy. O-sensei abandoned this conception of the art, but it's still useful to notice how the old conception influenced the art's technical development. Often, when practicing Ikkyo, students will struggle against one another. Nage, the thrower, will sometimes grab uke